What I want to talk about today is, I'm not going to go into another pleading presentation of the immense benefits of doing smartphone-based qualitative. What I want to do is some of the stuff that we get most excited about doing, which are the things that you could only do because there's a thing called smartphone qualitative. We love doing that kind of stuff. So we're going to show you 3 project designs, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to execute each one of them. So, to set it up, I'll tell you a little bit about where we're coming from as a company. So we were a bunch of qualitative research practitioners in the traditional space, trying to be innovative, but always wondering, gosh, you know what? There are things that we are not seeing because people's memories are bad, or because people posture in focus groups or in traditional kinds of research. And we had this sense, there is insight out there that we're not getting right now. And then in 2009, smartphones came along. And we got really excited about that because we said, this is how we get into those moments. This is how we see the stuff that we're missing right now. But there wasn't a really easy way to do this kind of work. We tried all of the different ways of have them do a video, have them take photos through their smartphone, email them back in. Too complicated, too difficult. There wasn't anything that was doing a great job of it, so we jumped in and we designed it from the perspective of qualitative researchers and strategists to work the way that we needed it to work. And we've been astonished at the kind of stuff that it's been able to reveal. So that's chapter 1. Chapter 2, we as a small group went out and we did 414 projects in 36 countries, 152,000 people days of smartphone-based research. And what I always say is we bumped into every sharp object out there for you. We learned every way that it doesn't work, and in the process of doing that, we learned how it does work. How to design, how to execute, how to sift through and turn this stuff into wonderful insight. And we applied everything that we learned to improving the over-the-shoulder platform. Everything we learned about, gosh, you get a lot of stuff in. We turned around and said, okay, we need to have a system that allows people to consume huge volumes of wonderful stuff that's coming in and manage it and work with it. We learned that having a great participant user experience, taking every bit of friction that you possibly can out of it, gets you more stuff and better stuff. And every time we learned something, we plowed it back into making that system work better and better. And of course, we dreamed up and tried out all sorts of new innovative methods. And then, chapter 3, we shifted the business. It felt a little bit more like jumping off a cliff, but we shifted the business. What we did is we said, more and more people are doing qualitative through the smartphone. We need to stop doing it ourselves. We need to focus on continuing to develop this software platform, because that's a job for 10 people in itself. And we need to provide it to other people who are actually going to do the projects. And we're going to make it easy for them to do it, give them a great platform to do it. So we fired all of our clients. That was fun. But we kept all of our experts. All the people that know how to do this, we've still got them, and we're still linked because they're very important to the service that we provide. And we dedicated ourselves, as I said, to putting industry-leading smartphone-based qualitative research into the toolkit of qualitative research practitioners everywhere and making it really easy for them to do it really well. Platform design, how to design your projects, how to put together proposals, how to recruit for them, how to do all the myriad operational details that make it really tough to do well. We do all of that and we help people with it. How to analyze it, how to present it, how to share it. We set our clients up to be extremely good at that, even if it's the first project that they've ever done through Smartphone Qualitative. And that is now our business. So, can you play that video? I just want to show you how it looks in a 90-second video.
The Over-the-Shoulder Company. We believe that the most personal research inspires the most powerful strategies. The best way to understand what people believe and how they behave is to engage with them in the midst of their regular lives. Our extended studies let you witness the real stories about who people are, how they got here, and where they're going. Over the days and weeks, we create a stockpile of videos, photos, and quant data about their beliefs, their behaviors, and the potential role of your brand in their lives. As people submit their responses, they appear in your project viewing portal. Our platform was designed by strategists for strategists, so your portal is full of innovative tools that let you customize your own analysis. Easily add your transcriptions and comments, tags, ideas, and themes. Then search, sort, and arrange your evidence however you wish to find your most compelling insights and to find your inspiration. And for every response, you can see when and exactly where the action happened. Over the Shoulder, the modern research platform for smart strategists today.
Okay, so that is a lot better than I can explain it in 90 seconds. And enough about us. Let's talk about really cool stuff that you can do because smartphone ethnography exists. You can go to the next slide. Actually, you know what? Jump one further ahead. Okay, this is one of my favorite quotes of all time. I heard it from Rashid Tabakawala. It probably came from somewhere else. But that is a really, really important concept as we shift from the spaces that we're really good at into spaces that we want to innovate into. The future won't fit into the containers that held the past. And what we mean exactly by that in this sense is there's a real rush for people to go, all right, I know great techniques through that work in traditional and face-to-face work. I'm going to start doing them through the smartphone. And actually, you know what? That works pretty well. You get some pretty amazing stuff. But what we always challenge our clients and challenge ourselves to do is to go, okay, but we don't just have to do collages and projective techniques in the traditional way that we did when we had someone face-to-face. We're now in their pockets, and they have a camera and a microphone to record audio and video. What are all of the different things that we can do? What's a better way of doing a collage? You know, what are you trying to do when you do a collage, and how can you do that through a smartphone in a way that might even be more powerful and more useful? So we're all about saying, let's not just take everything that we know and throw it out, but also, let's not take everything that we know and just throw it into a new media. Let's really explore new ways and new smart things of innovative ways to do things that are even more powerful. So, here are three of them. The smartphone-enabled pathway to purchase study, the spontaneous illness journey, and the 1 + 1 = 3 hybrid. And I wish I had time for 20 of these, but we don't. So I had to pick three. And we're going to start with the smartphone-enabled pathway to purchase. So in this case, we sort of blinded it out, but this was a client whose client was a tablet manufacturer. And they wanted to understand, okay, what's the process people go through as they pick between one tablet and another? What are all the influences along the way? How does online research interact with online buying versus in-the-store shopping versus showrooming versus all of these things? Put up your hand if you've been asked to figure that out for somebody this year or have been wondering that yourself. Yeah, it's like last year that was the biggest thing that we did. So those are things that are really tough to do through traditional qualitative methods, but if you can get 60 participants, maybe a few more, maybe a few fewer, and you can identify roughly how long that pathway to purchase is. Get people who are buying a tablet of a specific time, some people who want a Nook, some people who want a Kindle, some people who want an iPad, and recruit them at the beginning of that purchase pathway. And you know it's about 60 days, and design a study so that you can be there and ride in their pockets and see how all these pieces happen qualitatively. What you can then do, in addition to getting background stuff and seeing what their problem with their existing tablet is and how it fits into their digital social lifestyle, you can then ride in their pockets and you can give them a button on their smartphone and say, we want you to document and journal what you go through as you make this decision. So anytime you are researching online, hit this button. I'm going to get you to answer some questions, videos, photos, show us where you are online, show us what's interesting, tell us about what you learned. A separate sort of journal for each one of these different influences. So when you go in to visit a store, there's a separate set of questions that allow them to capture that. If you see advertising or marketing that affects this in any way, tell us about what you learned, what brands came into your consideration set, which ones left. Even influential conversations. If you had a conversation with your little niece who knows more about tablets than anybody that you know, okay, journal that, and we have a way to let people bring that back right into the smartphone because it's with them all the time through that whole 60 days. Right up to the moment of purchase and unboxing, and the really interesting thing with pathway to purchase stuff in smartphone is you can literally, at the end of each one of those journals, you can find out, okay, what does your consideration set look like? Did anything get added that wasn't there before? And tell us exactly how that happened. What did you learn? What did you feel that got the Samsung whatever added to your consideration set? Did anything drop? Why? Okay, let's understand that. So you can start to build wonderful maps where you go, okay, look, we win when we start losing when people do side-to-side online research because of specs and things like that. But when people go into Best Buy and they actually hold our tablet, they go, wow, this is incredibly light, and the screen is incredibly bright, and all of a sudden, you're back into contention. So that tells you a lot of things about, okay, where do we need to beef up our marketing presence in the places that we lose, and more importantly, where do we need to focus? What are the things that happen along this pathway where we win? How do we make that happen much more frequently? So that is pathway to purchase. You can do it for just about anything that has a consideration pathway to purchase of more than about 10 days. Electronics, automobiles are, luxury automobiles are 90 or 120 days. We've done a lot of projects where we've helped clients put together, okay, when people are considering a BMW or a Lexus or an Audi, what does that look like the whole way through, including dealership visits and test drives and all of those pieces, and what's actually driving this. And the great thing about it is you not only get this map of here's where we're winning, here's where we're losing, and who we're losing to, but click, play video, here's someone sitting down, and we've identified that. Test drives are incredibly important. Here's someone sitting down to do a test drive. Here is what it is about sitting in that car for the first time that actually makes them go, wow, okay, this thing just jumped to the top of the list. So wonderful stuff on that. Next one is a spontaneous illness journey. These are cold sore sufferers. There's a lot of money in innovating new products for people that have cold sores because there are a whole lot of folks that have to deal with that. So you want to know the physical and emotional impact of cold sores, the treatment behavior they're doing now, what they think and what they know about products that are out there, and unmet needs that you can uncover to start coming up with new things that really solve the problems people go through. So you could, obviously it's really important in this situation, to be with people as they're going through the 7 to 10 or 15 days of dealing with cold sore. How are you going to recruit them? Traditionally, you can't, right? And then, by the way, if you do, are they going to want to sit in a focus group full of other people with cold sores? And do you really want to moderate it? Are side questions. But the biggest problem is you really just can't do that. But if you can set it up so that you have a thing, as soon as you identify someone who says, I have the tingling sensation of a cold sore outbreak coming on, if you can impanel them right then and let them go through on their smartphone journaling their illness journey. And it could be the flu, the cold, any illness in the journey. What you can do is you can let them start up and go at their own pace, writing in their pocket the whole way through. You just need to, you don't have to have them you don't have to get them all at the same time. They don't have to be suffering at the exact same time. You can still go through and get, in this case it was 60 people again. Sometimes people do stuff with more or less than 60 people, but in this case it's another 61. So now You're going, okay, what are they doing right now? What products are they using? Why are they using that product? Do they like it? Is it doing everything that they need for them? What are the moments, I have a button right in the smartphone app and say, every time this cold sore is affecting your life, emotionally, physically, or whatever, hit this button and tell us about it. What is the problem? How are you feeling about it? And you get this incredible window into, okay, this is what it's like to be dealing with this stage of the cold sore where it stops tingling and it starts being huge and self-conscious and all of those pieces. And you can also say, okay, you know what? We want you to go to whatever pharmacy you would go to buy if you were out of cold sore stuff. And we want you to journal as you go through and look at what's on the shelf and tell us about what's interesting and relevant and why. Take pictures of new products you might try and tell us about why that's interesting to you, stuff that's irrelevant, stuff that is completely not connecting with you. And then again, bring it all back into a thing that says, okay, here's what this looks like. Here are what all those effects are. And again, here's a person standing in the store talking about how excited they are when they see a cold sore remedy that is packaged up so that it doesn't look like a cold sore remedy that would betray them if it dropped out of their purse or their pocket in the middle of it. Start seeing incredible needs that you might not have known were there. Last one, the 1 + 1 = 3 hybrid. Full disclosure, we discovered this completely accidentally, but that's all right in this space because we're all innovating and some accidents are good. We had a client who had an auto client, Japanese one of the big ones that you would know the name of. And their entire North American design research protocol was based on 18 in-home interviews, ethnographies. They had one chance. They took 2 weeks and they flew 17 people over from Japan, the big important people that you don't get access to. And we said, you know what, set them up with an over-the-shoulder piece so that we can have people go into their cars and journal how they use their cars and journal times that their cars delight them, their cars disappoint them, and we did it as part of the learning methodology. And I guess through language barriers and whatever else, it got a little bit confused. And we set them up with their project viewing portal that said, here are your 60 people, and they chose. We want her, we want him, we want him. This is clearly a person who's in the segment that we want to talk about, and they are good at emoting, really interesting. And they chose and they went through, and they actually used it as a recruiting technique so that they knew that when they flew all these big important people over here for this annual, incredibly important event, they were going to have exactly the right people, and they were going to have do ethnography that really counted. So we started turning that into the 1 + 1 = 3 hybrid. If you want to do 20 really depth, weighty face-to-face interviews or in-home ethnographies, they cost a lot of money, they're a massive investment. Why don't you recruit 80 people for your study, have them do 7 days in a smartphone-based qualitative project, review and use all the data that they submit, wonderful stuff, whether they're brilliant respondents or just okay ones, and then go, these are the ones that best fit these are the ones who really are our target. These are the ones who can talk. These are the ones who we want to be able to probe deeper and go into a lot more depth with. We're going to bring them back, and we're going to go out to their homes and bring our expensive engineers and people that we don't want to ever expose to, a 3-hour waste of an interview with a poor respondent. We'll dig directly into those. So those are 3 examples: the hybrid, the illness pathway, and the pathway to purchase that can be, we've shown very specific cases of them, but hopefully we've got your imaginations going on other categories that might be relevant to you that these could help illuminate. And hopefully we've also been able to spur some other ways of trying to not just make the future fit into the containers that held the past, but really embrace this new freedom and this new technology to come to us and have us help you do wonderfully innovative, new, fresh stuff that will answer the knowledge needs that you have. That's it. Thank you very much.